So in my first build guide, we completely obliterated Elden Ring using sorceries. So the question is, can we do the same with incantations? Hey guys, Thingfishy here. So make your character, choose the Prophet class and grab the Golden Seed as a starting gift. So while we run to Torrent, a couple of things about this guide. First off, this was such a fun run. Unlike my last build guide, where the answer to most questions was Kari and Slicer, this build required a lot more experimentation, problem solving, and a far wider array of spells. I definitely recommend this setup for anyone attempting their first incantations only playthrough of Elden Ring, as it's incredibly powerful throughout. Secondly, even though I use a lot of spells here, I'm barely scratching the surface of the dozens that there are in the game, so I'll definitely be making more incantation only build guides in the future to experiment with all of the different spells and make more specialised faith builds. If you find this guide useful and want to see more Elden Ring build guides, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to come hang out and watch me figure this stuff out live, give me a follow on Twitch. Okay, so we're at Torrent. Let's do it. We start by heading south through the ruins, picking up the map and the whetstone blade along the way. Now keep heading south towards Weeping Peninsula, grabbing the Somber One on the chair by Argyll Lake, the smithing stones and stone sword key on the bridge, and the morning star from the carriage. Then head to the Castle Morn Rampart Grace. From here, go pick up the nearby Golden Seed and map. Then head south from the map to this beach to get the Somber Smithing Stone 2. From here, we're going to take our usual route through Weeping Peninsula to grab all the sacred tears and some extra items. First head to the Carlu Baptismal Church for one tier, then around the map to the Church of Pilgrimage for the second tier, and pick up the bleed grease from the graveyard just outside it. Before we go to the next church though, jump down southwest of the church and pick up the Faith Not Crystal tier. Then head southwest for the final tier at the fourth church of Marika. Now walk back to Limgrave and go up the hill, collecting the Golden Seed and lighting the Storm Hill Shack Grace. From here, head northeast for the Strength Physic, jump down the rock and keep heading northeast. Kill the Golden Vow Knight and jump down to grab the Lance and the Exalted Flash from the camp. Now head southeast to these ruins and grab the Trina's Lily and the mushrooms around it. Then jump down this cliff here. Loot the graveyard for the runes and the Fever's cookbook for the sleep pot recipe. Head north, jumping down these stones and onto the third church of Marika for the Wondrous Physic and another sacred tier. Then head south through the Mistwood all the way to Fort Height. Grab the Golden Seed from out front, then up the ladder for the first half of the Dectus Medallion. Walk back to the third church and take the teleporter behind it to Caelid. Ride south from the Bestial Sanctum, picking up the Golden Seed along the way. Light the Grace by the bridge, then head up and around the ledge to this tree. Jump down the roots, then go to the left side of the bridge and jump across this gap. Go to the left side of the bridge and jump across this gap. Then wait for the cavalry to do his jump attack and yeet himself off. Level up at the Grace, then use the Spirit Spring to jump into the rise for an extra memory stone. Now up the Spirit Spring again and west towards the Minor Erd Tree and up the spring behind that. Grab the Grace outside Fort Fareth, then head inside. Up the ladder to the second half of the Dectus medallion, then jump down the second hole. Grab the golden rune 12 by the rats, then jump across and down for Radagon's Saw Seal. Equip it and let the rats kill you. Now walk back to the first step. Head around the building and jump down the spirit spring for the pickled Foulfoot. Then jump back up. Now back to Farath. Apply bleed grease to the Morning Star and start hacking away at the big dragon. Reapply it when it runs out and pop the Foulfoot as Grail dies. Level up at the Grace, then head back to Storm Hill and head northwest to the cliffs that bypass Stormvale Castle. Grab the sacred tear in the Church of Irith and jump down the cliffs. Head northwest until you find these ruins and go to the cellar for the two-finger heirloom. Then head northwest and take this teleporter to the Raya Lucaria gates. Jump down and head straight for the Erd Tree to find this teleporter to the ruins near Iji. Buy a Somber 3 and 4 from him, then head back to Raya Lucaria. Jump down again, grab these two runes nearby, then go grab the key to the gate. Walk back to the gate and then head southeast through the gate town, grabbing a golden seed and this grace by the map. Head southwest to the Boiled Prawn Shack, then directly southeast to talk to Raya. Warp to the shack, buy her necklace, then go back to get the Volcano Manor invitation. Then go back to Raya Lucaria. Grab the grace in the courtyard and use the northeast gate to the Bellum Highway. Grab the sacred tear in the Bellum Church and the nearby one in the Frenzy Church if you like too. Then head straight for the Dectus lift and up to Altus. Take Raya's hand outside the lift and go to Volcano Manor. Talk to Tanith and head through the darkness. Now, the reason that we're here so early is to grab the best faith seal in the game before we fight anything. But because of our level, we're going to have to be really careful here because pretty much any enemy will... Go across the rooftops and drop down, go through this gate. Now we're heading to this prison cell here, so just run past. Why do I play this fucking game? In the prison cell, you'll find the Erd Tree seal. This will be our main weapon for the whole game. Run through the rest of the dungeon, grab the Somber 6 on this rooftop, up the lift for the Somber 5 on the cliff edge, open the shortcut for later, and then walk back to EG and level your new seal to +6. Jump back to the Boiled Prawn Shack and head south to grab the Dexterity Knot Crystal Tear. Finally, head back to the Grand Lift and ride out across the Altus Plateau, grabbing the Golden Seed off the highway, using the Erd Tree Gazing Hill teleporter and riding all the way to Mount Gelmir, to this shack just before the Broken Bridge to grab Golden Vow, an incantation we're going to be using for the rest of the game. Now, finally time for Margit. Upgrade your flasks at the gate and equip the Faith and Dexterity tiers. For Margit, use Golden Vow before the fight, then parry into 2 Catch Flames. This will make short work of him. Run through Stormvale making sure that you don't get memed along the way. Light the grace by the elevator and then head back across the courtyard past the enemies to this room with the rats and the stone sword gate. Use the key to access the room and pick up the Godslayer's seal and the Godskin prayer book. Head back to the round table, pop a golden rune 6 and buy Black Flame and switch your flasks to 4 reds and 4 blues. Now we're going to head back to Caelid, go south from Dragonburrow, grab the sacred tear at the Church of the Plague, then head towards the South Caelid map fragment, then onto the Cathedral of Dragon Communion. Grab the grace, head outside and buff up. Now, it's way too early for fighting this dragon, but with Black Flame's percentage base damage, it's really not that bad. Just stay on Torrent and make sure you keep your distance from those rot attacks. Head back to the Grace, level up and buy Exikes? Okay, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to call this Big Rot Breath. Now head back to Stormvale. Time for Godric. Have your Erdtree seal in your right hand and use the Godslayer's seal in the offhand to boost Black Flame. Use Golden Vow as you walk in, and then a charged Big Rot Breath. From here, you'll only need 2 casts of Black Flame to get to phase 2. Run straight up to him in phase 2 and cast Big Rot Breath again. Catch Flame would also do stupid damage for this too. After this, 1 more Black Flame is all you need. Pop his Remembrance and level up. Now kill Gostok and grab his Bell Bearing for later. Now warp to the Boiled Prawn Shack and head towards the Minor Erdtree to parkour up the rise and grab an extra Memory Stone. Now into Rare Lucaria. For Red Wolf, you can start off with a Big Rot Breath for some big damage to start, then use Black Flame to finish him off. Level up and head to the upper part of the Debate Parlour for the Godfrey icon. Now for a quick detour back to Caelid. Ride to Fort Gale and grab the Flame Grant Me Strength incantation. Back to the Grace and equip it. Then ride to the Minor Erdtree in the northwest Caelid. The avatar here does big damage, but he doesn't have that much health. Spam Black Flame on him from horseback and pick up and equip the Flame Shrouding Crystal Tear. Now for Renala. Punch the Sweetings to stop them spawning all over the place. Use Catch Flame to nearly deplete her health bar on the first cycle. Then, as soon as you've punched the 6th Sweeting, cast Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, use your Physic and top up your FP. Catch Flame her twice for phase 2. In phase 2, run straight up to her and start casting Catch Flame. All the time that you can get near her, Catch Flame is great. But if you want to keep your distance, use Black Flame. Now level up and go by the Buckler and 2 Stone Sword keys. For Godskin Noble, parry him, then use Catch Flame twice. Repeat this until he starts rolling. When he does, hide behind a pillar and cast Big Rot Breath. Phase 2 can then be finished off with a couple of Black Flames. Level up to 40 Faith and head through Volcano Manor to the Stone Sword Key Gate. Head all the way down and grab the Somber Stone 7. Now hop back to Fort Fareth towards the Divine Tower and grab the Somber 8 and 9. Back to the Round Table and level up the Erdtree seal to +9. Now head to the capital outskirts and grab the Golden Seeds. For the Draconic Tree Sentinel, use a fully charged Rot Breath, then use Black Flame at a distance for the rest of the fight. Level up and run through the capital to the Avenue Balcony Grace. Go back, buff up, and absolutely obliterate the Erdtree avatar in a way that you probably haven't done before. Pop the Lord's Rune he gives you and use it to level up. Now, we do have a little bit of a health problem now. Being this far into the game with 20 Vigour is a problem. So grab the Ritual Shield Talisman to stop you from getting one shot. You can get the extra talisman pouch you need from Enya to equip it. Cast Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength outside Godfrey's room. Now, as always, Godfrey can't really be cheesed from a distance. Dodge his attacks and cast 1 or 2 Catch Flames between his combos. Level up and head to Morgott. There's really not much to say about this fight, just keep your distance and cast Black Flame when it's safe. He'll go down pretty easily, as you can see here. Now head back to Limgrave, level up and ride into the lake to the Dragon Burnt Ruins to teleport you to the Celia Crystal Tunnels. Run through and grab and equip the Canvas Talisman. You can do this before Morgott, I just forgot. Head to Rykard and equip the Serpent Hunter in your left hand, the Lance in your right, and use the strength physic to meet the requirements for both. Now, Rykard should be fine here as long as he doesn't do that one move where he puts his head in the ground and fucks. For this fight, crouch and then hit L1 and repeat until both phases are dead. You'll only have to dodge a couple of attacks this way. Now we head to the mountaintops of the giants for Fire Giant, and we have a massive problem here. All of our best spells are flame spells, and Fire Giant has insane resistances to fire damage, taking only 40%. This combined with his already massive health pool means that trying to fight Fire Giant with flame spells would be a total nightmare. And just so I could show you how awful it would be, I tried fighting him with... Yep, because of Black Flame's percentage based damage, it's still very viable for Fire Giant. Interestingly, Phase 2 with Black Flame was probably one of the easiest and quickest Fire Giant Phase 2s I've had in Elden Ring. Level up at the Forge, then backtrack a little to the Giant's Hero's Grave, all the way through the dungeon to this troll, then jump down next to the Prelate to grab the Giant's Seal. From now on, you're going to equip this every time you're using Catch Flame or Black Flame. Now back to Caelid for Radahn. Ride backwards at the start of the fight to despawn him and buff as he runs towards you. Have the Giant Seal in your offhand to boost your flame spells and cast Catch Flame on him. I reckon you could actually one-cycle him with this setup if you manage your FP and stamina, but worst case scenario, he'll only require a couple of casts in Phase 2. Use his runes and remembrance to level your faith, then head to Crumbling Farar Missoula. Run through the dungeon to the Transept Grace. Now we need some bits for duo, so walk back to the secluded Cell Grace in Stormvale Castle and grab the crackpots near the Pot Friends, then walk back to the start of the game and buy more from Carle at the Church of Allah. Warp to the village of the Albanurics and grab the nearby mushrooms and the other half of the Halig Tree Medallion. Then head down into the swamp below to this big tree and pick up all of the St. Trina's lilies surrounding it. Now for the standard duo strat. Put both of them to sleep, buff up and Catch Flame them to delete their health bar before they even stand up. That's not good. That's really not good. Does it stagger? Okay, Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, Godskin are pretty resistant to flame spells. Okay, so we'll ignore that problem for now. Head back to Mount Gelmir and ride round to Fort Lade. Go to the top and grab the Fire Scorpion Charm and equip this. Now head back to Rhea Lucaria. Use Rot Breath to kill this enemy and grab Azure's Staff. This increases your casting speed when placed in the offhand. Now go to Castle Sol for Commander Nile. Run in and Catch Flame the two summons. For Nile, wait for the big tornado attack to get some free Catch Flame spams in. Then either parry and Catch Flame, or just use Black Flame at a distance. Now head all the way to Mogwin's Palace, to this group of enemies here. Throw anything that you have at this guy to get his attention. Then run around him and grab the Somber 10 from the chest and the Golden Rune 13 at the back. Back to the round table and level your weapon to +10. Then head to Nokron for the Regal Ancestor Spirit. Black Flame him for a very easy fight. Now warp to Caria Manor and make your way through to Loretta. We're super overpowered for this fight and Black Flame will just delete her health bar. Now for a quick sweep of Rani's questline. Speak to her grab the Finger Slayer blade from Nokron, get the Karian inverted statue, go through the study hall and grab the Curse Mark of Death at the top of the tower. Use Renna's Rise to warp to Ainzel and go all the way to the Lake of Rot. At the lake, swap all of your flasks to red and run through the lake, healing when needed. You'll have enough health and heals to get to the Grace Fine at this point. Astel is another Black Flame fight. The little bit of distance this gives you will keep you clear of the majority of the most dangerous attacks. Level up, then head back to Nokron for the Gargoyles. To make this fight easy, just make sure that you only cast when they're in an animation of some kind. Both of them can close the gap really fast and smack you if you attack while they're just idling. Be patient, stick to this rule, and you'll be absolutely fine. So at this point we have reached the soft cap for Faith and aren't going to be doing any more damage. Black Flame is absolutely destroying everything though, so maybe Duo will be fine now. Okay, so head back to the start of Faram Azula for the Godskin prayer book, then onto Lane Dell to kill this knight, who drops the Gravel Stone Seal, which boosts lightning attacks. Go see everyone's favourite dog, give him the prayer book and buy the Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. Now head back into Godskin. Wait for them to be right next to each other before you throw a sleep pot. We want them both bunched up as close as they can be. Use Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and spam R1. If you're lucky, 3 casts will kill both these two, but if your casts miss one of them, just sleep them again and repeat. Do the same for the third for a very easy duo fight. Level up and head towards Malekith. Spam Black Flame at the Draconic Tree Sentinel, then level up. Use all of your buffs outside the door. For Beast Clergyman, have the Giant Seal equipped in the offhand and use Catch Flame. Play the same as you would with a melee weapon. For Malekith, you can actually kill him just by waiting for that 1-2 attack that gives you a lot of time to attack in his recovery. Get 3 of these and he's done. Now, if you've ever watched one of my live streams, you'll know about the absolute hatred I have for the Gideon boss fight. So I wanted to try and find a way of cheesing him during his speech on this build. It took a lot of experimenting, but I did finally find a way. To do it, we're going to head south of the snowfields to the Yeonix ruins to grab the unendurable frenzy spell. Then walk back to Volcano Manor and head round to the Erd Tree. Kill the tree spirit with Catch Flame for the Cerulean Hidden Tear. Then head back down to the Mimic Grace in Nokron, across the bridge, down past these columns, and jump down here for the Clarifying Horn Charm. Replace your Ritual Shield with this, put the Hidden Tear in your Physic in place of the Flame Shrouding Tear, then head to the boss room. Before you go in, cast Flame Grant Me Strength, Golden Vow and top up your FP to full. Run into the fight and straight up to Gideon. When you're next to him, and only when you're next to him, drink your Physic and press and hold R1. The Hidden Tear is giving you enough FP to keep spamming it, and the Clarifying Horn Charm is preventing you from dying to your own spell. Right, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Level up and swap your talismans and physics back. Then head in for Godfrey. Treat phase 1 exactly as you did the Shade, casting Catch Flame when it's safe. Now for phase 2, the sensible thing to do is to dodge the first attack, then cast Catch Flame twice. But if you're childish like me and you want the style points and don't mind getting hit once for it, hit him here with a lightning strike instead. Then, exactly like we did in the sorcery build, catch flame when it's safe and wait for Hoaraloo's ground slam attack to do big damage in that long recovery. Now head back to Caelid and into the swamp. Buff up by the Stake of Marika and ride straight in towards Commander O'Neill. Jump off Torrent and melt his health with Catch Flame. Give the prosthetic to Millicent, then buy the Pest Thread spell from Gowry. Equip this and head into Radagon and Elden Beast. The strat here is Catch Flame for Radagon and Pest Threads for Elden Beast. I'm just going to let this Radagon fight play out. Yeah, pretty insane, but nowhere near as insane as what we're about to do to Elden Beast. Cast Pest Threads at close range 4 times during the opening to delete half of his health bar before the scripted bit is even over. Four more at close range will kill him. Now the problem with this strat is by depleting his health this fast, we're blowing past all of the different health triggers for all of those very dangerous attacks. So although this is going to be a short fight, don't be surprised if you get the ring attack, Elden Stars, and the second ring attack all at the same time for the ultimate meme fight. The new patch 1.06 light rolls are pretty good for dodging Elden Stars, by the way, if you can keep it all in front of you. While we have Pest Threads equipped, let's go bully Placidus Axe. Like Elden Beast, Pest Threads does insane damage, so Placy's massive health bar won't feel anywhere near as big as it usually does here. Now for the Halig Tree. Head to Ordina. For anyone who's still mourning Bloodhound Steps utility for this rooftop area, the new light roll is a great replacement for dealing with these archers. All the time it's not patched though, I'm going to use Ordina Skip. Jump onto this pillar and line up your compass to the right of this notch, then jump twice, holding 12 o'clock for the first and 7 o'clock for the second. Next up, Loretta. Use a fully charged Big Rot Breath while she runs towards you. Switch your offhand to the Gravel Stone Seal, then bide your time and wait while the Rot does its thing. You're waiting for either of those 2 blue combos she does around half health. When she does one, roll it and lightning strike her. Do this twice for a 3-hit Loretta fight. Level up and then head to Melania. Now as usual, Melania causes a problem. Once again, the most fun and satisfying option is a parrying fight with Catch Flame. However, as a faith build, I figured there must be a safer way. Now obviously, Big Rot Breath is going to be absolutely useless against the Goddess of Rot, and she will dodge Black Flame like it's not even there. So instead we're going to use Frenzied Burst. This will hit her every single time and has great range. Now this is an endurance fight. It's a really simple fight as you'll only have to worry about the second half of Waterfowl in phase 1 and the clone attack in phase 2. As always for Waterfowl, 3 rolls, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and just run away from the clone attack. I only used my Physic for phase 2 here, as it's a long fight and phase 1 is pretty safe, and I don't want it running out before phase 2. Now head to Deeproot Depths. Fia's champions and Fortis Axe aren't going to pose much of a threat, so feel free to do what I did and use them as an opportunity to try out all of the cool incantations you've picked up along the way. Catch Flame is the sensible option for Fortis Axe, but everything else is more fun. Now, just before we head to the last boss, we're going to nip beneath the capital to the Lindale Catacombs, grabbing Mo's shackle along the way. Walk into the boss room and cast Big Rot Breath on Esgar. Then Black Flame him for the Lord of Blood's exaltation. Equip this and head back to Mogwin's Palace for the final boss of the run. And by far the biggest problem in it strategy-wise. Mohg is ridiculously resistant to fire, and even Black Flame won't help us here. It took me quite a while to come up with a good strat here, but when I did, it turned out actually to be a pretty easy fight. Run into the fight, use the shackle and cast Big Rot Breath while he's down, then repeat this. Then do it another 2 times in a row as he transforms. For phase 2, you want to cast Swarm of Flies. Despite its nerf, it still does good damage to him and it's pretty spammable, meaning that you can concentrate more on dodging Mohg's manic phase 2 attacks. Keep your distance as much as possible and keep spamming Swarm of Flies for a very manageable fight. And that's it, how to bully every boss in Elden Ring using incantations. If you've made it this far and actually used this build, please do let me know how you got on in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. See you soon.